Good morning, everyone. It's November 15th. I'm just going to cut out the part where Mephi said that because YouTube's going to block it. So, fantastic.
Be on my YouTube page.
Hope everyone's doing well. Mephi, let me do the intro. All right, yeah, hope everyone's doing well. Here's Mephi. Mephi, what do you have to say?
I'm sorry.
yeah, that's what I thought. Yes, it's Friday, November 15th, and the markets are down. S&P's down 6.65%. Nasdaq's down 1.1%. Dow's down 0.45%. Russell's down 0.1%. Russell outperforming. VIX futures are up 2.2%. Treasuries are all down. Long-term treasuries taking a bigger hit. Gold is up 0.1%. Crude is down 1%. Bitcoin is up 2.5%. And Asian markets are mixed. China's down. Japan's up. Japan reported good growth figures ending their, I suppose, recession. So Japan's looking better these days. So, yeah, wonder what's going to happen. SPY had a nice down day yesterday. Those are rare. And in case you're wondering, the number that I typed, that's the number that I started. That's the timestamp for me personally. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Mephi, you can speak now.
Basically whatever you just said. Yeah, I'm with you.
You're with me on the SPY is down.
Yeah,
great. I'm glad.
But yeah,
I'm glad you're not claiming
like
fake news.
That's rare.
Maybe breakfast pizza to celebrate Warren Buffett buying Domino's.
Oh, dang.
I mean, I've been advertised to, marketed, commercials galore, and nothing ever works. You know, I'm not going to be part of your system. Buffett buys shares of Domino's, 0.2% weighting in his portfolio. And then after, I don't know how many years of not eating any delivery pizza, not eating Domino's, this is when I develop a craving for Domino's.
Yeah, same.
So I think I have an idea for fund managers. If they want to help companies advertise, it's not enough to do commercials. You know what I mean? Everybody knows your products exist. What you got to do is you're a fund manager. You got to buy shares of that stock and then talk about it. And then that's when all the finance bros like me are going to actually crave that product. It worked on me. I'm like anti-advertisement. I pay to not watch advertisements. I have access to Hulu, but it's the advert one, as the Brits say, and I refuse to watch it because I don't want to spend any of my life watching advertisements. And Buffett's, his goons, one of his goons buying Domino's, that worked.
All right, so full port Domino's. Hang on.
346 is it's just a number, U.S. soldier. What if I told you I was worth 346? What would that mean to you?
Per share.
Just advertise Hulu? I mean, if I was sponsored by Hulu, I would go full idiocracy after every statement is brought to you by Hulu. I say the market's S&P's down 0.68%, brought to you by Hulu. Swear to God.
Okay, so it's really a Brando commercial then. Got it.
Yeah, I think you guys ever watch what was it, Eastbound and Down, where Danny McBride, he tries to make a deal with Will Ferrell. He's Ashley Schaefer, BMW.
Yeah.
And he says he's going to do a little bit at his dealership, try to bring the customers in, and he gives them a number. He's like, I want $5,000 something, and he's like, I'm gonna give you $100. And he's like, well, I was thinking closer to like, what about 2,000? Maybe we split the difference. Like, I'm gonna give you $50.
As a former car salesman at a dealership, I can confirm that this is common.
Yeah, that's how I see this going. If I get like, usually don't even have like 20 people here, but let's say I had like 30 total listening, posting on YouTube, and I talk to Hulu and they're like, "We're gonna give you $50."
It would bring people in.
Uh,
We used to give away 2 free movie tickets for coming in and doing a test drive, and that was pretty successful, actually.
Very nice. Wait, quick question. No music. What did Hulu do to you?
I don't know. He's French Canadian, so yeah, just FYI.
I'm ready for charged opinions on things that I don't think are that relevant. So I'm curious. It's like having a thing against paper clips. I said they dropped the market. No. Yeah, it is Hulu's fault. It's true. I did verbatim. I did say Hulu dropped the market. It's a good thing it's recorded because now you can go back and listen to when I said that. Disney. Does anybody hate Disney still?
Wait, the company or the focus behind it?
What's the difference?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
All right,
the
I'll go
company or
with
the janitors that clean the bathrooms at their
yeah. Well,
headquarters?
are they unionized? I mean, there's questions, like
Questions need
janitors
answers.
union.
Yeah, there are questions such as, does anybody still hate Disney?
Well, apparently, didn't they smash through earnings the other day?
Yes, absolutely. And they went on a tear, and they gave, I think it was
All right,
like
so I like them
3-year
again, I think.
guidance, which is insane to me.
Wait,
But
what kind of guidance?
3 years of it, good guidance.
What?
And I'm pretty sure the rub there is they're trying to quell fears around Bob Iger's exit, or Eager, however you say his name. He's eager to leave. I think Disney should make a partnership with Nintendo. That's what I think.
Man, I mean, it would have to be a company like Disney.
Partnerships are good.
Partnerships are good.
They are. I mean, I'm no master level businessman, but all right. Let's have a look at some news. Everything was down yesterday. Almost everything, at least the indices. And I'm in the indices camp, by the way. I don't say indexes, indices.
Thank you. So you're in the correct camp.
Because I'm a learned man. I also use Oxford commas. What are you going to do with that?
Oh, shit. Okay, we're on different levels.
That's right. Oh, and I say herbs, like the Brits.
Okay, definitely now I disagree with everything.
Wait, do you have a friend named Herbert? Do you call him Herbert? Does anyone have a friend? I'll spell it out. I'll make it nice and big, too. Does anybody not have a friend with that name and you pronounce it like that?
No, but the CFO of the dealership I used to work for had that as his last name, and it was pronounced supposedly Bear.
A bear. All right.
Must be French or something.
Well, I don't think that. I don't know if that like splits the difference here, but I say herbs. I side with the Brits on this one. Besides, they did create the language, so the English rather, not those
Yeah.
dirty Scots. But
The British.
no, Scots are good. They're good. The Irish are fine too.
That's the only herb in my life.
Yes. Right. So indices. Everything's down so far today. Oh, sorry. The Russell is now up. Fantastic.
The dollar index is up.
Yeah.
Never mind, it's down. It's actually down.
Well,
It's
you
up
are
this
fake
week.
news. Why don't you just
up this
sit
week.
this one out? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, dude, I might
Federal
wait.
judge upheld the FTC's case against Meta, meaning that the company must go to trial over claims that it bought Instagram and WhatsApp to stifle competition. Man, this has been going on for so long, and I love. This was years ago, but I love one of Zuckerberg's initial responses, and he basically said, if you didn't want this to happen, you shouldn't have approved the deals, which the deals have to get
Yeah.
approval. So I'm like, it's quite a fair point, Zuckerberg,
And good luck trying to prove intent
Yeah,
on
because,
top of that.
everybody knows Congress, like every member of Congress is 250 years old. So it was like the same members. You know what I mean? Like it was the same people that
Yeah.
approved the deal. So because they never leave. Man, what would they do if they left early? You know what I mean?
Domino's,
Watch birds.
Starbucks. Watch birds.
Yeah, I don't know. Play wiffle ball or pickleball. Sorry, I still don't know
Yeah,
the difference,
pickleball.
and I don't care to find out. Speaking of problems with Meta, the EU fined Meta $840 million for building its shopping and ads platform, Marketplace, into Facebook, alleging it gives it an unfair advantage over rival classified services. Meta, of course, plans to appeal. The company also slashed its European ad-free subscription prices for Facebook and Instagram by 40% to comply with regulations. So, in case you're unfamiliar, the Eurozone is, they're a bit anti-monopoly, much more so than the U.S. But also, what they get when they when these lawsuits come forth is they get a ton of dollars coming in, and American companies, for the most part, they just pay them. So, it's kind of a strategy for them. But on one hand, they actually try to look out for consumers. Same way with how they're doing here with Meta. So yeah, it's, I guess they want their take. They're gonna look out for the consumers, but they want their take. I love you too, Redskin Flippy. Vaccine makers yesterday plummeted after President-elect Trump chose RFK Jr., a noted vaccine skeptic, as health secretary. Novavax, Moderna, and BioNTech all plunged roughly 6%, while Pfizer and GSK were down around 2%. So the cabinet is being filled with professionals. That's what I was going to say. Market's now open. Disney is up 2% at the open. Let's check the SPY. SPY is starting to climb back up a little bit. Regain some of its losses. Let's see. Yeah, it is Friday, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm buying back some short calls I sold yesterday. Making a few trades here. And I think I'm going to leave the rest on the table. All right, what else we got? I sold some strangles on Coinbase. Had to adjust those as it tanked. But I'm actually still doing quite well on those. Love is a hell of a drug. Yes, it is. Oh, and I'm so curious to know why you hate Bob Iger. No, I'm not. But let's see. Okay, there's a lot of trash talking in more than usual. Bloom Energy is up 50%. They were halted yesterday. Oh man, this has got a. Yeah, they made a deal with who is it? What's their name? AEP. American Electric Power. Is that their name?
Yeah, I think so.
American Electric Power said it has an agreement in place to secure up to 1 gigawatt of Bloom Energy solid oxide fuel cells for data centers and other large energy users. AP is in the process of finalizing the first customer project agreements. Initially, the projects will use natural gas, good for natural gas stocks, which I'm looking into, but the technology has the potential to use hydrogen as an alternative fuel. Yeah, Bloom Energy, they were halted yesterday. What about midday, maybe? And they remained halted, looks like, until today's market open. So, yeah, up about 50%. 405, if you still have those calls, maybe now's the time. I see Redskin is just spamming screenshots. This is your preferred method of communication. Good morning, everything. Oh, everything. I was going to ask your opinion. Domino's Pizza, eat it or leftovers overnight. Eat it cold or heat it up. And I heat up pizza like like in the oven, or in like a cast iron and cover it. Comes out quite nice. Or I could eat it cold. I don't really care. I'm going to be honest. All right, going back to news. Elon Musk expanded his lawsuit against OpenAI to include Microsoft and venture capitalist Reid Hoffman as defendants. Musk claims that OpenAI's partnership with Microsoft unfairly hindered competition, harming Musk's AI, X, Twitter, AI, whatever. So that's nice. You just sue all of your competition because competition. I suppose he's in a position to do, to an extent, whatever he wants. Although Trump, he did say that they're going to get rid of the EV tax credits, which is something I mentioned the other day. Like, how does this work out for Elon? Like, it's not all fun and games for him. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm sure the stock price will remain volatile. Eli Lilly has sued a U.S. health agency over its rejection of a proposed change in how the company handles drug rebates to hospitals. Johnson & Johnson recently filed a similar suit. Eli Lilly is making money hand over fist, and not a lot of questions asked from the consumer. Remember all the anti-vaxxers that, they were wearing masks at first. They were afraid when the pandemic first started. And then after a few months, when Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson and Trump came out and they said, we don't like the masks, they look dumb. And then a lot of people said, I don't trust the vaccine. It hasn't been tested enough. I don't trust it. It's a government thing. And then Eli Lilly was like, hey, we're working on this weight loss drug. And Americans were like, shut up and take my money. Give me the damn drug. They're like, well, we haven't tested it. They're like, we don't care. It hasn't got an FDA approval. Who's the FDA? I think it's great. Old Druckenmiller, his thesis on Eli Lilly, but as they announced the drug, was, and he said this in an interview, his intuition on it was, he asked the interviewer, he said, have you been to Disneyland in the U.S.? And that's all he said, right? And he said, if you tell Americans that there's a way for them to lose weight and they don't have to put any time and effort in, they're going to pay a lot of money for that. And that was it. And then he bought the stock, and then he comes to find out that you have to continue to take the drug. And he said it makes it like a razor blade business. And he was in. He made a lot of money on Eli Lilly. Fantastic intuition. And in case you need that summarized, what he's saying is Americans are fat and lazy. And he made a lot of money off that thesis. Taiwan Semiconductor. The Biden administration finalized a $6.6 billion grant for Taiwan Semiconductor to build 3 factories in Arizona as part of a $39 billion initiative to boost U.S. chip production. So this is curious because this has been in the works for some time now, but now it's finalized. But it's curious because what's going to happen going forward? Are just going to walk back these incentives? I mean, it's finalized. Taiwan Semiconductor got the grant. It's good that we're working with them. We can't cut them out of our economy. So, bit curious as to what's going to happen going forward. I mean, it's on American soil, so jobs here, right? That's good. So I wouldn't think that there would be some weird walk back of this. It's going to be at least a few months before that's even possible. So I guess Taiwan Semiconductor is good for now. Their expansion into the U.S. at least. Boeing has hired Colin Miller, an executive from Northrop Grumman, to lead its Phantom Works division, which focuses on its Defense Department projects. The move aims to revamp Boeing's military unit amid billions in losses on Pentagon contracts, which I find interesting that Boeing's losing so much money on Pentagon contracts, considering that they mark up soap dispensers by 4,000%. I don't think that's the way to do business with the government. I would know. I came from the government. Deep cover. Samsung plans a stock buyback. Samsung announced a $7.2 billion share buyback to boost shareholder value following shares hitting 4-year lows recently. Shares rose 7.2% on the news. Let's see where they're at now. Let's see. Samsung Electronics. Oh, this is one of those stocks. Yeah, unless you're on Interactive Brokers. I have to take Reuters' word for that. Wynn Resorts billionaire, Tillman Fertitta, Landry CEO, increased his stake in Wynn Resorts to 9.9%, making him the largest individual shareholder, surpassing co-founder Elaine Wynn. Shares rose 9% on the news. So that was yesterday. Dutch insurer Aegon raised its 2024 full-year guidance for operating capital generation from $1.16 billion to $1.27 billion and announced a $158 million share buyback. Third quarter operating capital generation of $355 million exceeded estimates, says Wall Street Journal. And Hilton, HLT ticker, Hilton Worldwide, announced an additional $3.5 billion in share repurchases, raising its authorized repurchase program to $4.8 billion total. Its stock is up 38% year to date. Last I checked, Hilton was having a great year. Man, when companies buy back that much stock at high prices, it didn't go well for NVIDIA. It didn't go well for Meta. Yeah, it tends to not go well when you're a little too heavy-handed or a little too aggressive, rather, with the stock buybacks at high prices. So good luck to Hilton. I mean, I know the business is doing well, but curious how anticipated changes in global policies are going to affect the stock. All right. Meta. Oh, if Meta went back down, that'd be great. I mean, it would be the same thing, you know. The last time Meta tanked, I can't remember how many people, how many naysayers there were. Felt like I was the only one that thought Meta was in a good spot, and every highly knowledgeable and educated retail trader on Wall Street Bets insisted I was wrong. Said Facebook is dead, and I said perhaps if you just do a tad bit of research, you'll see that Zuckerberg has done this a few times before, and Meta has come back from lows in their business cycle before. You can see it with CapEx, but yeah, if Meta does it again, I'm ready. That company's not going anywhere. I mean, look at this. Look at what they've been through. What was it at first? What was their first real competition? It was Instagram, right? Then they bought them. Wise move. Then it was Snapchat. They said no to buying Snapchat. Funny thing is, for a while, Wall Street was saying that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Look at Snapchat's stock price. Zuckerberg has lost it. And now if you zoom out on Snapchat's stock price, maybe Zuckerberg has the best foresight ever. Good long-term decision, by the way. Short-term, could have made some money, I guess. But, I mean, hell, just invest in your competitor. But, yeah, so it was Instagram. They bought Instagram. Then it was Snapchat. If you zoom out, you look at the chart, you can see how it went for Snapchat. We had Vine. Vine lasted, maybe a few years? Maybe less? Can't remember. What else? Reddit, I guess. Reddit was coming for Meta in a way, but not really. How many other social media platforms try to take down Facebook and Meta overall? And now TikTok, obviously. But people, apparently, you don't have to pick just one platform. And the more content you distribute, the more content people are going to consume. So, yeah, I'm sure if there were 10 popular apps, people would just manage to use all of them. If Meta didn't buy Snapchat, I don't think they're going to buy DJT. I think there's a higher chance that Zuckerberg just comes out and shorts DJT. He won't actually do that, but DJT doesn't make any money. Also, it's sort of a what's that term? It's sort of a Ponzi scheme. I don't know if you guys knew that, but yeah. So, yeah, Snapchat, they were making a lot, or not a lot of money. Their stock, their executives were making a ton of money. Stock-based comp was sky high. Oh, I forgot about Twitter. The stock-based comp was sky high. They did nothing. They sat in the haunches, zero innovation. They did not know how to adapt their business model. They could not compete. And, yeah, look at the stock price. So, pray tell, what is DJT going to do to compete other than hope that Trump says something good about the company? And I'm not selling. Does it kind of sound like what's his nuts from The Big Short? Who eventually, got blackballed from the industry.
Michael Blueberry?
Yeah, he went to jail. But I guess he wasn't the president.
Too soon.
Or the president-elect.
Elect. There we go. I'm going to get some coffee. I'll be right back.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Uh, Mods, whoever that is, you're doing great work. If I had to guess, I would say it's 405. Um, that's why they pay you the big bucks. All right, more news. Who doesn't like more news? EV and automotive news. The EV tax credit is on the chopping block. President-elect Trump plans to end Biden's $7,500 EV tax credit, a move supported by Tesla, possibly due to potential impact on competitors like GM. Tesla fell almost 6%. That was yesterday. I think they fell more than that at one point. And Rivian plunged 14% on the news. Rivian gave up all of the gains that it got from the fat check it received from Volkswagen, which is kind of like Rivian getting all that money from Volkswagen. It's like China getting, injecting stimulus into the economy. But because Rivian's not making any money, at least they have a real product. But man, these American EV companies, they are not doing well, just cash flow wise. Haven't checked their sales growth in a minute, but I know they're bleeding cash. Lucid losing far more cash than any of them. It doesn't help that Lucid stock-based comp is some of the highest stock-based comp in stock-based comp history. But the Saudis say that they're in it for the long term. It kind of looks like they're in it just for the billions of dollars they'll make in the short term off of stock-based comp. So Lucid should stick around. It would be a lot better for them if their executives weren't just siphoning money out of the company. But yeah, Rivian is trading back below $10 a share. They keep approaching book value, but their losses on a quarterly, annual basis, they keep eroding the book value. So every time they approach book value, and you might say, look at that, Rivian's not a bad buy at book value or below book value. Well, they report a net loss, and equity goes down. They go back above trading above book value. So that's going to continue until they can figure out how to be profitable. The NHTSA, which stands for fined Ford up to $165 million for delays in recalling vehicles with defective rear view cameras. The company will also invest $45 million to enhance safety data systems. Ford's not having a good time either. So Ford, for those who don't know, Ford has a good amount of manufacturing capacity in Mexico. Obviously, Ford, like plenty other auto manufacturers, they also source materials from China. So right now, I know some people are thinking Ford, American company, they're going to do well with proposed regulatory changes under the Trump administration. It is very net bad for Ford. Yeah. I mean, you got the EV tax credit that's expected to be taken away. You have tariffs on Mexico and China, where they source either manufacturing or materials, or both. This is not good for Ford, and you have potentially increasing inflation. Potentially, we'll see what happens. Ford is not a good place to put your money. I'm just going to say that. It never has been, to be honest. Maybe you had some short-term trades, but Ford continues to be a terrible investment. And I don't think there's anything going on right now that's helping them. If we were expecting inflation to or interest rates to continue to come down to a good extent, Ford could refinance its long-term debt, save some money on interest expense. If full open borders, lower tariffs, that's good for Ford. Block China's EV business. That's what the U.S. has been doing. But give Ford a hand when it comes to tariffs, costs, manufacturing. Yeah, this is the opposite of what's good for Ford. GM's doing better than Ford, but GM has similar issues. So, well, I should say GM's doing a lot better than Ford in terms of financials and overall business, but they do face similar issues as Ford. Speaking of General Motors, the Cruise self-driving unit was fined $500,000 for submitting false information about an October 2023 accident where one of its robo-taxis struck and dragged a pedestrian. That sounds like my honeymoon. Cruise must also enhance safety compliance and provide regular reports. Robo-taxis are coming. Amazon's small robo-taxi company, I think they're launching in Vegas, which I think is a pretty smart place to launch. And Google's joining them, Waymo. I know that people in like San Francisco, they fear what they don't understand, so they keep like blowing up Google's Waymo cars. I mean, it's like a caveman discovered a refrigerator and just like threw it off a cliff. It's just amazing, just beating it with clubs, like a watch, Advance Auto Parts is closing over 700 stores, including 500 corporate-owned and 200 independent locations, following weak earnings and lower 2024 guidance. Shares fell 5% yesterday, and they're down another 6% today. Advance Auto Parts not having a good time. Let's see. Gates can manage Snapchat. Yeah, that synergies. Lucid is for the luxury market. It means they don't have to actually make money. It's true. NIO is the luxury EV market for China, which is why it's completely stupid to pick NIO over BYD as an investment. Man, BYD has been that might be. I'm going to measure my words carefully. BYD might be one of the most sensible plays in terms of Chinese stocks out there, because BYD does not need the U.S. And while the U.S. is being tough on China, imports from China, tariffs, all that good jazz, the rest of the world is not. I mean, the EU imposed tariffs, to sort of be in line with the U.S., but the EU is not going to. If the U.S. increases tariffs to a pretty good extent, the EU has mentioned imposing tariffs on the U.S. So BYD is, without the U.S., business is as good as it's been. They do not need the U.S., and I think other economies are going to embrace Chinese business. Yeah, and China's in kind of their back is pushed up against the wall in a dark alley. You know what I mean? So like, they're gonna do what they can to get out of this. And it's state controlled, so they could do it a lot faster than most other economies. Not saying that like, it's they just get out the whiteout and then the economy's good to go. It's going to take a few years, but in terms of competition, the businesses that are doing well right now, yeah, they're going to do what they can. Those businesses are, over the long term, they're going to be just fine. So BYD, I think, is one of those companies. And imagine if at some point we're actually okay with importing Chinese EVs. Oh man, all these U.S. EV companies, they're screwed. I mean, they're trying to expand globally too. So I have zero clue how any of the American EV companies can compete with China in other countries where companies like BYD are already making sales. I have no idea how they're going to. I mean, obviously, like there's the branding, right? There's the status, right? Um, but Chinese EV technology, it's up there with the other big dogs, and the price tag's better. And they still had that luxury market to them, So I have no idea how US EV companies are going to compete globally, unless they make deals with China. But that seems to be off the table for now. Hope they can grow in the US. All right, economic news. Fed Chair Jerome Powell noted that the Fed is not in a hurry to slash interest rates, citing strong economic growth, moderating inflation, and a cooling labor market. Powell emphasized that further rate cuts will depend on incoming economic data, which is the same thing he's said for years. So, in other words, just Powell saying that he's not just going to cut rates because he's being pressured to. The Fed's trying to be independent, you see. Retail sales rose 0.4% in October, slightly above expectations of 0.3%. However, the figure may mask underlying weakness, as the metric excluding autos stood at positive 0.1% versus an expected 0.3%. So a bit of weakness in autos, which, if you're looking for a car, is a good thing. The UK economy grew by just 0.1% in third quarter, below expectations in a sharp slowdown from the previous quarter, 0.5% growth due to tax increases and weak service sector growth. September GDP fell by 0.1% versus a forecast of 0.2% growth. So the EU's still not out of the woods. Japan. I mentioned this earlier. Japan's GDP grew 0.3% year over year in third quarter, ending 2 quarters of declines, with a 0.2% growth quarter over quarter. The economy expanded 0.9% on an annualized basis, beating estimates. The Nikkei 225 index rose 1.28% on the news. And lastly, Chinese home prices fell 5.9% year over year last month, marking the steepest decline in 9 years, despite slowing monthly declines suggesting market stabilization. So yeah, China still has a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Made good money off that rally in Chinese stocks. Took the opportunity to cash just about everything out. BYD remains on the table. They're a really solid company, but everything else is just far too exposed to tariffs, to trade wars. BYD's, they're not going to come out all of the scotch clean, but they are growing rapidly. So that growth can definitely offset increased costs, negative impacts from tariffs, trade wars, so on and so forth. And for you poor people, I covered ASML yesterday for the premium subscribers, and I think, for premium subscribers, it's you guys can look at it, but it was a private screening. You see, I showed my face and body, but feedback I think was pretty good. ASML, let's check it today, actually. Yeah, they pulled back a bit, 2.3%. Down, that is. I did not get OnlyFans, although Hardy keeps pushing me to open an OnlyFans account. If Disney keeps going up, you might have to give me another donation. Hey, if you donate, then I'll give you another month of the premium chat channel. I think it's a fair deal. Yeah, and the way I see it in my head, it's like, okay, you tip $5, then or donate. Sorry, donate to my charity. Yeah, I'll give you a month of the chat. I think it's fair because it's implied that you're making a lot of money on those trades. So a $5 tax on all trades. That's what I'm going to start doing. Plus, you also get to say nasty things about other members in the private chat and show your true colors. I'm just kidding. Everyone is very nice in there. Nobody says anything bad ever. Adobe. Oh, Adobe's down 4.20%. Nice. Interesting. It was on a little tear. Pretty volatile. And they have earnings coming up December 11th. All right, what else we got? SPY's down 0.94% now. I am going to make a trade. Let's go. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I'm getting the 590s. And I'm loading up. Okay. And I'm trying to get filled on some short calls, and it's not filling me. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, I'm going to get evicted. You know, I'm actually considering not getting evicted, but I'm actually considering breaking my lease so I can get out of Pittsburgh. I don't mind Pittsburgh. It's been nice. It's been friendly. It's very easy to make friends here. But the world beckons.
Tejas.
Yeah, honestly, I don't consider Texas home. So I would sooner call Pittsburgh home at this point. Much more homey feel, I guess. But I got a few different options, and I mean, this is all. My life is rather tentative right now. Yeah, five. Actually, I don't want to tell you which calls I bought because then you're just gonna follow me. You know what? Sure, why not? 590 DTs. That's what I got. But I also sold. I'm not going to tell you the other part. Never mind. Yeah. So the way I see it, two broad options. One is I move to New York because I know I can get a job in New York City. Or maybe live in Jersey and commute. I wouldn't mind that either. Yeah, get back on it. Get back on the finance train, which would be fine. You know, it's not a big deal. It's not what I really want, but you know, it's fine. That's the first option. Texas is not an option. I refuse to go back to Texas. The other broad option is move to East Asia. And live like a king. Well, yeah, I think the main thing is I'd rather not just wait around for something to hit. You know, Pittsburgh's fine. I don't mind staying here. But staying here and just waiting until uh, my current lease is up, I think it's September. Yeah, that doesn't, like, just sitting here. I don't want to do that. If I like Pittsburgh so much, I should try Cleveland. They're like equally shit. Have you been to Pittsburgh, Ben? Don't get me wrong. There are cons of Pittsburgh for sure, but honestly, I was pleasantly surprised, like how chill it is up here. A little too chill, to be honest. Oh, I was gonna say downtown is like one of the it's one of the worst parts of Pittsburgh. Um, honestly, I think it's how long has it been since you've been? Because I think it's the I mean, it's still in the city, but like outside of downtown, those areas can be nice. There's a part of Southside that's building up, Mount Washington. I'm in North Shore, and they're building up North Shore. It's not like a lot of it is. It's nothing to write home about, but there are so many businesses here, like so many mom and pop shops, so many breweries. It's insane. Like if that's what you want, if you just want like if you like local stuff, the communal feel, sort of like hometown feel, but you get it that you get all that, but it's the size of a city. So, and the breweries, the beer is really good. There's like a whole thing here where I think literally like the local government favors local breweries. So you don't see a lot of bars that, I mean, there are plenty of bars, but yeah, there are just so many craft breweries. So the way I would put it is if you're in Pittsburgh and you don't find anything, you're like, there's nothing here. You need to go outside of your house. Like, you're not looking. The food, I wish there was Asian food. Asian food sucks here. There are a few places that I mean to try, but like, I mean, I come from Dallas, and Dallas had this. They had a whole K town, you know. I bought the dip again. I bought the 588 calls. Brewery.
Brouhaha.
YOLO. Morning, y'all.
What's up, Andy?
How's it going?
You're on the air. Loose Ventures Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't say Pittsburgh is like, oh, it's the best city ever, but I was pleasantly surprised at what the city does have going for it. And the people are really nice. Like, it was a bit disarming coming from Texas. Like, people are just really nice. Somebody made the joke. They said, if you ask somebody in Pittsburgh for directions, they won't just tell you how to get there. They'll say, oh, I'll take you there. Like, it's just really friendly. Never mind that they're like, kind of like rubbing your thigh the whole time they're taking you there. But
Their last name Bundy. Like, yeah, I'll take you there. Yes, my last name is Bundy or Kaczynski. Don't worry about it. We're not related.
Not related.
Do you know how many Ted Kaczynskis there are in the U.S.? Come on.
Yeah, Dallas. I'm surprised like how good the food scene got in Dallas, but the thing is, I still think you need to know where to go because like every food place in Dallas is hyped up. Like it's insane. Like every single place, it's like people don't know what shitty food actually is. And if they're marketed, if it's on Instagram, whatever, somebody says this place is the best, everybody's like, "Oh, you're right. It is the best." Which is definitely not the case. And while I would say, like, if you want a good type of food, any good type of food, you can probably find it in Dallas. The thing is, you're going to have to drive like 20 to 40 minutes, depending where you are. And let's say you live on the part of town. I live close to K-Town, right? Which is correct, because Asian food is brilliant. So I had easy access to really good Asian food. But if I wanted good, I don't know, like, I was going to say Mexican. I don't think Mexican food is good in Dallas. But if I wanted a good, I don't know, like Jewish deli, well, that's like other side of the city, at least 30-minute drive. If I want good fried chicken, probably going like 20, 25 minutes, another direction. If I want good barbecue, yeah, that's a 20, 25-minute drive, so on and so forth. So you can't really have it all. If you're in uptown Dallas, okay, you're going to spend up. All right, you can eat at like the really good French restaurant. You could eat at Fearing's. You can get some really good sushi. You're going to be spending, like $80, $100 plus every meal, but that's how it is. So if you don't want to spend that much money, then you're going to have to drive a lot. So that's the main thing I don't like about Dallas is that you can't have it all in one place. It's like you're making road trips, like every day, going to work, going out for food. It gets tiring. It's not like New York or other places where it's just like packed, And then New York City, you have like the expectations for food are much higher. And if you have a place that sucks, you might go out of business pretty soon. Or you could say, like, somebody says, let's get some Mediterranean. Well, this place is okay, but there's an even better Mediterranean place like 4 blocks down. Okay, let's walk there. Like, easy. In Dallas, hey, there's a good Mediterranean. Oh, that place is okay. Well, there's a better one, but it's 40 minutes, of a drive on the other side of the city. It's like, all right, we'll just go to this one.
No, I would take the drive rather than the okay one. If it were me, to be honest.
You'll take the drive rather than what?
Rather than go to the kind of okay one.
Oh,
I'll take the drive to the good one.
Me too,
Probably
but
every day.
but I end up not, like, every now and then I'll do the drive,
Yeah.
and I'll end up never eating the okay one. Whereas, like, if I were in New York City, I would always eat good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
and that's what I like. Like, I want to be surrounded by delicious food all the time, and it doesn't have to be the best food in the world. Like shawarma in New York, you get some some good Italian. Hell, pizza, whatever, like anything's good. Asian food, oh man.
There's one place I go to for Asian food one place to go for Chinese food, one place to go to for Thai food, one place for Mediterranean. And that's I don't go anywhere else because none of it's good in Austin. It's got another spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say 405. I'm pretty sure Dallas is getting similar, very similar to LA. But I would still give LA the trophy for like more food places. Dallas is still figuring out what really good food is, I think. And again, while they do have like some really good places, it's like for every 100 restaurants, you have like 3 really good ones. 3, ones that I'm like, okay, that deserves to be on a list, right? In my opinion. LA, it's closer to like 20. That's the way I see it. And I think Houston's kind of like that too. And I wouldn't have thought to say that about Houston until I started like making multiple visits there. But the Asian food scene, holy hell. And then Houston is still, demographically, it's the most diverse city in the U.S. You're going to have good food with that diversity, So you're going to have to drive. But wherever you go, you're surrounded like by good food. Versus Dallas, like, you're going to have to drive just for one place, So yeah, I would say Houston is definitely much more comparable to LA because of the density of quality. Dallas they're working on it, but it doesn't help that everybody that's moving there, everybody that's been there for a couple years keeps saying, "Oh my God, this is the best. This is the best Asian I've ever had," and like, no, it's not. They don't even know what Mexican food is. Dallas drivers weren't surviving Atlanta. They have tons of people driving 60, 65 on the interstate with 70. Wait. Is that in Atlanta?
What?
Or are you talking about Dallas? Because the Dallas I know, people on the interstate are like, it's the fucking Autobahn. Like, they're like meteors, man. Like, you must have been like driving during, I don't know, like church Sunday or, Dallas is rated the city with the most aggressive drivers in the U.S. That must have been an off day.
Even if you go west, like people are driving like 90 on a 70, like it's nuts.
Yeah, as soon as you enter Texas from Louisiana, it says, "Welcome to Texas. Speed limit is 80 miles an hour." I'm not kidding. It's insane, man. Yeah, I don't know. That must have been an off day for Dallas drivers because, oh man, I'm used to just chaos. Like it's the next Mad Max movie. You don't need CG. You just film it in Dallas, and then you get the spikes on the cars, the explosions, the cars flipping. Big trucks like falling off the overpass, whatever. Michael Bay, he could film the next Transformers there.
Are those trucks you're gonna stick behind, Ben, or just anybody? It's probably what it is.
I would say the traffic is pretty lame in Dallas. It's not the worst I've ever been in. I think Houston is worse.
Houston traffic. Jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it depends. I don't know. Like when I would drive to work, everybody's flying, and when I would drive home from work, everybody's flying. Maybe during the day, like they act like nobody else is on the road. I don't know. Not even about the really good places in Dallas, the cheap spot stuff, solid quality and taste compared to what you find in the rest of the country and the cost. But that's true. I mean, if you're looking for decent food, you should be able to find a lot of places. Like, for example, maybe it's low hanging fruit, but my opinion, you can't find a bad burger place in Dallas. And I thought that was I thought like, oh, this is all of America. And then I moved to Pittsburgh, and I was like, why don't they know how to make burgers? Um, I think it does depend on what you consider, like decent food though, because to me Mexican is still crap, like across everywhere. There's no good Mexican place in Dallas. Barbecue, if you're from Texas, you probably don't think most barbecue is good. Like you have a few favorites. You can get some decent barbecue, but like if you're from Texas, and there's a very short list of like what is good barbecue. And I hear a lot of people like go to Texas, go to Dallas, and they're like, "Oh, I went to this place. I went to Dickey's, or I went to Hard Eight." And I'm like, "Yeah, those are. I mean, Dickey's is crap. Hard Eight is like, it's more of a theme park, Like I think you're sold on the vibes, It's not bad, but
Rudy's.
Rudy's. Yeah, Rudy's another one. It's like, yeah, it's a classic, but it's not like it's kind of like fast casual. Like all those are like fast casual barbecue joints. Cadillac, Terry Black's. There's a place in Fort Worth. I think it starts with a W. I can't remember. W or an H. Maybe W, but Cadillac is by far my favorite in Dallas. Cadillac is so good, and they're only open 2 or 3 days a week because they make all their business in 2 or 3 days. They're open for like 4 or 5 hours. So, kind of says something.
Apparently a barbecue joint that I used to go to maybe 5 years ago at this point. Um, kind of like a little known joint while Franklin's was still good and popular, or was still popular. This place was featured in like Texas Monthly, and they're now a Michelin star barbecue place. Interstellar Barbecue
In Texas?
in Texas, yeah. Interstellar in Austin.
Oh, they got the Michelin star. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think one place got a star in Dallas or no places. I can't remember. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious because, so, for those who don't know, Michelin star, obviously it's like
Yeah.
it's a prestigious rating, right?
It's
You have to pay them to come out and
Oh, you pay them to come out.
try all their
Oh,
food. Yeah. They have to sign up
what the fuck?
and then they have to pay them, right?
I see.
And it doesn't mean you're gonna get, like you're gonna get the star rating, but you have to pay them to come out. Dallas, this is a great example of what I'm talking about. Dallas, they're like, hey, massive food scene here, like the up and coming, food capital of the U.S. Blah blah blah. Everything's so good here, and so many restaurants signed up for it. None of them got a Michelin star. So I'm like, yep, that's Dallas. Like, you think you're that good. But no, they said no. Like, you're not that good. So I think overall it's like, yes, you can find food. It definitely like can be affordable. There are a lot of places that I think people overhype. But I think it's kind of like there are the level, like the perception of how good the food is overall is a bit too high. But there are some spots like K-Town, like you're talking about, like, it's affordable. It's not expensive. K-Town is my favorite place to eat in terms of like affordable food because it's relatively cheap and it's delicious. Like it's to me it's the best food in Dallas. So like that's the way I see it. Like you can spend up for what you think is really good food, or you could get really cheap food that's decent. To me, I'm like, there are certain places that are just hands down to me they're the best deals, like period, in Dallas, and you have to drive for those, or just live there.
Y'all know what a Michelin star is, right? It's literally the tire company, Michelin Tire Company.
Yeah.
All right.
Dallas people will call barbecue trash, even if it's amazing for the rest of the country. Hey man, it's like go to Italy and try pasta, and then tell the Italians like you guys are conceited. You know, like all these other pasta places are good too. And they're gonna be like, get the fuck out of here. That's honestly the way I see it. Like Texas, there's a reason, and I think honestly, I think because Texas barbecues, I think it's some of the best food in the world. At least the really good spots. And I'm not the only one that said that. Like you have, Andy, you just said the barbecue place got a Michelin star in Austin.
Interstellar.
Yeah. Like that's
Good.
a barbecue place to get, Texas barbecue place to get a Michelin star. There's some truth to it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I would say it's like going to Italy and saying that Italians are too snobbish about good pasta. It's like, yeah, they make the best pasta in the world.
Pretty good.
All right, we can keep talking. I'm gonna cut the recording because I've been recording this whole time. So, if you're watching from the future, buy spy calls.
0 DTEs.
All right, good
Yeah.
day to YouTube
All right.
people.
Good day.
Have a good weekend.